And we are live. I got a comment from somebody on Twitter, which is really helpful, and I'm really grateful to anybody who helps me with the QuasarCast website on Twitter or anywhere in the community, especially because it's kind of difficult for me to keep track of all of this with other things going on in my life, like actually building the videos for QuasarCast itself. And so, to be honest, as funny as this may sound, it's not the highest priority perfecting the website. The highest priority right now is producing good content for the website. So, when somebody gives me feedback that's very pointed and says, this is creating a bad experience on the site, that's super helpful for me. And basically, the thing that's crappy right now is if I go straight to a video page. So let's go to the latest section here, which we created in another live screen. And if we go to Quasar reading the docs, right? Notice that by default, we get this left pane here and it's overlapping the video. So I actually did this intentionally to begin with, but in hindsight, and after getting feedback from this guy on Twitter, I've realized it's kind of a crappy experience. It makes you feel like the layout isn't really done properly. Like, why is this thing covering over my YouTube video? And then after I got that feedback, I thought, hey, let's check out laracast.com and see what they do. And by the way, I think it's a good idea to take inspiration and ideas from other websites. But if you start doing things like stealing their design and blatantly copying everything they do, that's not cool. But there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from other websites. And I love laracast.com, and this is where a lot of my inspiration came from to build QuasarCast in the first place. And so, this site's been around a while. Jeffrey Way, who built this, obviously knows what he's doing. He's been working on this website for a long time, and so it's a great source of inspiration. So one thing this is actually quite recent. One thing that he does is it's pretty much the same idea of what I'm doing, except it pushes to the side. So basically, this is going to push the video to the side here. I don't like that you can't hide it. Honestly, it doesn't matter because if you really want it bigger, you click on the full screen anyway. So maybe it doesn't really matter there that you can't hide it. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, that's kind of the feel that I'm going to go for, I think, with QuasarCast, where we'll basically make this left menu push the video to the side instead. So that raises the question, how do we do that? And if we go to the Quasar docs, it's pretty straightforward, at least relatively. If we go to Quasar's layout component, we can have a look at how this is done. And now I'll just go full screen now since we're jumping into the code. Yeah, so Quasar has this very unique way of designing the layout, like the skeleton here of your application. So if we come in here, you can actually use this layout configurer in order to lay it out, to do the layout however you like. And one thing we can do is make it so that this left pane here basically pushes the content of the page itself. And I think you do that by putting a capital L here. You know what? Let's just jump in and have a play. And it's just a QuasarCast docs. Yep. So it's cd into app, I believe I've called it. And then we'll run yarn dev. Have I got yarn dev set up? No, we'll just run Quasar dev. That's fine too. All right. So once our dev environment is running, we will then jump into the layout. And it looks like I happen to already be there. So that's kind of a cool coincidence. And so let's find out where this is happening. Oh no, this isn't layout. This is latest. There we go. There's our main layout there. We'll come up to the top here. And here it is here. This is what handles whether or not this menu is basically going to push to the side or if it's going to hover over the top. That's kind of what handles all of that. Or is it this one here, actually? I could be fooling myself. Left side draw. Okay, so I must have that set to overlay mode. Let's have a look here. Yeah, okay, I've got this set up with mini to overlay, but I'm pretty sure that I wanted to remove that. I must have forgotten in the last video. Let's jump back in here. This is the official website. So I believe I can now go to quasarcast.test. I might have to start Nginx. Yeah, I need to start Nginx. Because I do Docker stuff at work. So sudo service Nginx start. My password to get that running. And we'll probably have to do the same for MySQL as well. And MySQL start. And give it a second to run. Close that off. Now let's check if this is working for us. Yep, it's working. And next, if we click on one of these videos, there we go. That's exactly the effect that we wanted. And maybe now that we're doing that, the shadow actually kind of looks funky because now we're doing it in such a way that this kind of is part of the page. So how about this? Let's get rid of the shadow on there by removing elevated. Where's that? It'd be somewhere like this. Elevated. There we go on that draw. So let's get rid of that. And then we might need to add a border in to make it look right. Yeah, we probably want to have a border in here. So let's say it's bordered. Yep. And there we go. Now we just get that little border down the side, so it's kind of more contained. And next, when I scroll up and down, I probably don't want this to scroll up and down. I probably want that to be sticky. Otherwise, you can't really see where you're at as you scroll down the page. So let's go ahead and do that. We do that by changing some of these layout settings. And this is where I'll come back to the Quasar docs here to figure out how to do it. So scrolling up and down the page at the moment, this does not move. But if I change that to a lowercase l, oh, no, it's not what I thought. Lowercase l there. This thing's always confused me. I did a whole video on it twice, and it still confuses me. But it's one of those things. It's really powerful. And once you do know it, it's super helpful. It's got something to do with this. Oh, you know what? It might actually have something to do with the fact that we've got some sort of a scroller in there. We're going to main tabs menu. And something is basically making this scrollable. Okay, so that's the toolbar. Okay, that's the top menu there. And this is the drawer. All right, so this is where we got our lessons menu. That's what it is there. This is basically making that whole area a scroll area. So let's do that and save it and see what that does. Come back here. All right, once again, it's still doing that when I scroll up and down. But we should now be able to change one of these values here. I think it is actually that one there, but it doesn't show in this menu because that is, in fact, scrollable. Maybe we can... Is there anything in here we can do to change that? No, there isn't. So it looks like one of these L's needs to be changed from a lowercase L to an uppercase L or the other way around. Let's try making that an uppercase L. And there we go. Now it's sticky. So we can scroll up and down the page there. This looks better because it fits in the page properly. One thing I'm probably going to get rid of is show, because instead of using the Quasar show, we're going to start having things like components of the week. I don't know if I'll do that now. Yeah, I might just remove it. We're very close to releasing these next two podcasts. I just need to keep working on like the routines for that because, you know, it takes time and I need to have good routines in place so that I can commit to it and make sure I'm going to do it long term. Story section, I will keep that. Latest is kind of cool. So, someone in the community wanted that, so I added that in. I think it's nice. And yeah, I think that'll do for now. I think that one little change is basically all I needed to do. And another thing that Laracast does, I think you can actually like close that. No, that's not what you do. I think there's a way that you can basically throw it down here onto the bottom screen. Can I do that? I'm just doing that too. Oh, I could have sworn that you could. All right, maybe not. Or maybe there's a button down here where you can basically say, hey, throw this down onto that screen. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. But I kind of thought it would be cool to have a button that basically removes this from here and then throws it down onto the bottom, just in case you wanted it to be full width. But I don't know, it's probably not relevant enough. So there we go. I think I'll just leave it at that. Build this and push it. I currently don't have a build process on the server because this application is so lightweight, it doesn't make sense to do that yet. So I'm just going to run Quasar build and then get ready to commit that. Git add dot and git commit. And then what do we call this? We'll call this layout. Remove left layout overlay. Maybe, I don't know, left layout overlay. I'll call this left drawer improvements. Improvements. Yeah, I think that's good. Push that. Give it a second. One of the good things about building client side, especially if there's just one of you, is that it does tend to go faster than a lot of other services unless you pay, a good amount of money. And also, once you push to production, you can view those results straight away. Not exactly straight away, but pretty soon after. So if I go to quasarcast.com, let's see if it's pushed yet. Second to load. Probably hasn't. I feel like that loaded too quickly, so it must have been cached. Yeah, we'll do a refresh there. Give this a couple of goes until it's working. And there we go. Those changes have been made. So thank you to this anonymous person on Twitter. I do actually know their name, but I feel like I shouldn't share it because I don't know if he would want me sharing his name, so I won't. But yeah, that's fixed now. We can scroll up and down, and this is going to be stuck on the left side. But if you do want to go full screen here, you can always press on that full screen button there. Oh, this is very loud of me. And yeah, that's it. That was fun. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in a future stream. Bye for now.